All right, tip number 1. You can adjust different game speeds in battle, but if you guys hit control, the game doesn't tell you this, right? If you hit control, a little lightning bolt will appear in the bottom corner here, and battles will happen instantly. It's actually pretty sick. So if you start getting used to the game, I don't recommend this while you're new. But after you get used to the game and stuff, and you just like, you know, if you're gonna win the battle, you understand the game, you could just skip through the battle and it'll play out the outcome, which is actually really, really cool. And I'll show you here on this frog. You can see it just played out. Whatever health we would have lost in the battle, whatever the outcome would have been, we just skip right to that. So that's the first tip. Super dope, super dope. Tip number 2, when you're playing Kingsmaker mode, and this is unique to Kingsmaker mode, one of the things that I recommend is when you start, make sure you scout around the map. One of the main things they're looking for is travel points, so that way you can hop around the map. Travel points are really, really sweet to have. They're like these little crossroad things. You can teleport to them at any time once you touch it. But also, I like to generally go for the ones that have the horse. The horse is really powerful. It's unique to Kingsmaker mode, and it will give you 3 points of interest that it'll instantly take you to, but then you also get all that scouting on the way to that point of interest. So that is a super, super good thing to have. So with the horse carriage, this is really good. This is usually the first kind of point of interest that like I go to because it gives you a lot of information about your map. And you can also see there's a lot of information to digest here, like Golem Glade. This is usually the first thing I like to go to, especially early game, because this is going to allow us to start combining 2 items that are the same. And every time we do that, it's taking 2 items that would normally be 2 slots and putting them into 1 slot, essentially, and freeing up another slot. So that's usually one of the first things that I want to go to. You'll also notice that it's giving us other information, like Petrified Forest is going to have the shopkeeper in it, and we also see the Elderwood Cemetery. This is also good because when we're scouting around the map and we see signs of the cemetery, we'll also know that we're close and that there's an ancient tome there, and then there's a graveyard there, to get these unique items, or epic, or whatever they're called. So these are really important to know. We were actually right by the graveyard, funny enough. Next tip, this oil here, you know, finding an oil early game and things like that. One of the things you want to evaluate, because you can't keep picking up the oils. Once you use it, that oil is done. And it powers up your weapon. It's just flat buffs to your weapon. But this is a weapon that I just picked up early game to help me survive and stuff, but I don't plan on keeping it, right? I think it's a pretty honest weapon. It's just like a good early game weapon. So I'm not going to use this oil. I think a trick to fall into when people are new to the game is they're just going to grab whatever upgrades they see. This oil specifically, I can mark it by standing on it and then getting off of it, and I don't have to pick it up right away. I can come back. And this is not easy to notice because a lot of things in the game you step on and then you can't, like your treasure chests, once you step on them, even if you don't loot it, it's gone, right? You can't go back to it. But there's a lot of other points of interest where you could step on it, check out what it has, check out its wares, and then come back to it later. So oil is one of them. We can step on it, see what the oil is, right? They're always going to be these 3, and then we can just mark it so that way we have it on our map, and then we can leave, and I'll come back when I find a weapon that I actually want to keep. So here, I used the horse, and the horse brought me all the way down here to this golem, but you could see along the way, I also uncovered graveyards, like gravestones and stuff like that. It looks like a very big kind of graveyard, but that also gives me a general direction on where to go find that, the hero's grave, where we're gonna find, the legendary items. So we're gonna go look for it, and there it is. So you guys can see that it wasn't on my map, but all I did is I used the landscape around me to help like defer what kind of biome it was, and that's going to tell us what kind of stuff that we can find. So that's how I knew that this was going to be here somewhere close, because we saw the gravestones and stuff like that. So this is another huge tip that you don't notice when you're new, but using the environment for clues and stuff on how to scout, so scouting's not actually so random. Whoa, we just found a wealthy merchant. So we just found a rare drop, the Wealthy Merchant. This is rare. There's a lot of runs that you don't even see this. This is probably like 1 out of like 5 runs or something like that, which is pretty cool. If we go to him, he's going to sell all like legendary equipment, or whatever these are called, heroic. So this is very nice to have. $5, you have a huge like plethora of things to build around, which is super awesome. These are also what you find in the heroes' graves as well. You get a draft of 3, where here you can see you get 6 at the same time. You can start building around them, because this guy you can come back to, so we can plan around this kind of stuff. Yo, okay, and Oracle's another really, really cool point of interest. The idea is if we find one of these, it's going to identify like a rare point of interest for us. Something like a wealthy merchant, something like a crone, something like a farmer, the points of interest that are not common. So let's see what we find here. Oh, I've actually never, ever, I've only heard about it. I've actually, in my 25 hours of playing, I have never actually got to mess with the beehive. So this will be my first time. And I'm still even experiencing new things in this game, which is really, really cool. Next tip of the day. If you hit escape, you can actually hit fight boss. And what it's going to do is it's going to just go right to the boss as if it was the end of at the end of the week or whatever. And you're going to fight that boss. And you might ask, like, why the hell would I do that? Well, if you decide your build is strong enough and you can fight that boss early, it's actually in your best interest. Because when you fight the boss, it's going to then send you right into the battle, but all of that time that you thus saved and spent it early, and to fight the boss, you still get to keep that time. So what happens is we'll still get all of this time, and then we're going to get the full day that we would normally get, but with the added benefit of getting what we would get after that boss fight, which is the extra 2 inventory slots. So we're going to get extra time with those inventory slots. So we'll try to do that now. And hopefully we're strong enough. I think we're pretty strong here. This new splash screen is so nice that they added for release. And I think we can just mess this guy up. I think we have a lot of speed here. So we're going to go first. Our acid's going to melt his armor, and our poison should melt him. You can see they took giga amounts of poison here. We're going to heal up on attack. We did not get through a shield on this one. Oh, we did. My acid makes sure that his shield melts. One more attack should do it. Nice. Cool. So, as you can see, we beat this boss early. Now we still get all of that time that we would normally get, but we also have this little arrow here showing us that we're a day ahead. So we're still going to get a whole nother day before we fight the next boss. But the big part is that we have those extra inventory slots. So now we get way extra time, almost an extra half day or 2 days here, where we get extra inventory slots to kind of like use them and farm up and stuff like that. So there's another tip for you.